It's okay, Raptors fans. You can all take a deep breath now. The Raptors did give us a little scare at the end there. Felt like one of those throwback vintage moments. If you're a Raptor fan, you'll understand. This is the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajith, and the Washington Wizards gave us a scare. I mean, you've always known over the years that these guys have been competitive against us. You know, Bradley Beal's always waiting for a big night against us, and that's exactly what he did. Ish Smith is a Raptor killer. He does what he does. Thinks he's Steph Curry and John Wall put together every time he sees a Raptors jersey. And, for a team that's undermanned, for both of the teams that are undermanned, like the Washington Wizards have key injuries, the Raptors have key injuries, and this is not probably the matchup you're going to see in a year from now. But it was still a pretty entertaining game to watch. I mean, the game was not that much of a blowout. It was close throughout. And to be honest, after the first quarter that the Raptors had, they were like leaking oil, basically. They were just playing awful. They looked a little discombobulated, and it looked like Washington was just, biting into the lead every quarter after every quarter. And then finally, once they got in range in that fourth quarter, it did scare everybody a bit, but the Raptors have been there before. Championship experience definitely helps. But Van Vliet, after he missed those two key free throws, I was kind of scared. I'm not going to lie. OG Anunoby had some good plays when we were struggling offensively towards the end. He had two key buckets in the paint. And Kyle Lowry had that big three. All in all, we got the job done. We got the W. And we're going to have to grind games out like this, to be honest, because the Raptors have three starters that are currently injured, with Norman Powell with the shoulder injury, Pascal Siakam with the groin injury, which we found out yesterday, and Marc Gasol with the hamstring injury, and they're all out indefinitely, so we don't know when they're going to be back. But this is where Chris Boucher, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Terrence Davis, they all got to step up. Terrence Davis did step up in that first quarter. He had back-to-back threes and put us up by 17 at one point. Let's get into the stats right now and talk about everyone's individual accomplishments tonight. Starting off with the main man, the Bulldog, the heart of the team, Kyle Lowry. Coming off a triple-double from the Detroit Pistons game, he had 26 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 9 assists in 41 minutes. 7 of 14 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and 3 of 7 from the three-point line with 1 steal. Damn, 41 minutes? That's crazy. I mean, I didn't expect him to play that much. And if it wasn't, I honestly didn't know if Fred VanVleet was going to play today, but thank God he did, because I don't know where half that offense would have came from. He didn't have a crazy game, but he flirted with the triple-double. He was all over the floor. He had 18 points, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists in 34 minutes. And he was 6 of 18 from the field, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, and 1 of 4 from the three-point line with 1 steal. Serge Ibaka, what can I say? Came back from injury, looked a little rusty, but he seems like he's putting up these OKC kind of numbers. Like, he looks like it was a vintage performance. In the Pistons game, he came out and dropped 25 and 13. Tonight, in 36 minutes, he drops 23 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 of 10 from the field, 7 of 10 from the free throw line, and 2 of 3 from the three-point line with 3 blocks. His defensive awareness tonight in the paint and those 2 nasty blocks he had were absolutely must-see TV and amazing to watch. Rondae, the Junkyard Dog 3.0. In 19 minutes, he had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 of 8 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, and 1 of 2 from 3. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. He shot a 3 tonight, and he made 1. Anunoby, 33 minutes. He was getting beat out there. It looked like a boxing match. He had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 11 from the field, and 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 of 5 from the 3-point line. And he was moved to the 4 position tonight with Siakam out. They put McCaw at the 3 at the small forward position. And then, Kyle Lowry and Van Vliet have been starting together since they've been healthy throughout the season. Terrence Davis, 18 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 of 4 from the field. No free throws, and he was 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Malcolm Miller was out there tonight, and honestly, I don't know what they were doing leaving him out on Bradley Beal. Every time they had him out there, Bradley Beal was isolating the whole thing, and he was looking at him like he was a snack every single time. He wasn't making threes. I don't get it. If you're not making threes, what's the point of you being out there? You're a horrible defender. And I know we're down bodies right now, but you can't be having that. Someone's got to play some more minutes at that position or switch it up. Because every time they got Malcolm Miller, I'm telling you right now, if he plays like that next game, he's just like another Stanley Johnson. And I'm going to talk about Stanley Johnson in a bit. But, oh man, Chris Boucher, he had 13 minutes, wasn't his best game. He had 4 points, 5 rebounds. 1 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and took 1 3-point attempt and missed it. Back to Stanley Johnson for a second. The man's always been out there celebrating celebrating on the bench. Bro, if you don't get your ish together right now and get healthy and get back on the floor, I promise you won't be on this team past the trade deadline. I don't want to see him there. The man. This is your second opportunity right now with everyone else out. You have minutes that you can take from other people with 3 key starters out. Matt Thomas isn't back yet. And Lowry and Van Vliet, they're going to play heavy minutes at their position. But our front court is thin right now. And we could use more bodies. So try to get on the court and be relevant on this team. Or sooner or later, you're going to get traded to a team and just disappear out of the NBA. Oh, man, this man stresses me out. I don't know. Just something about his play. Ever since seeing him on Detroit, it just being a top pick like that and not being able to be on the floor is just irritating to watch. And the Raptors have a good development team, too, and that's the saddest part to watch. He's out there working with them every day, but you don't see any improvement. Washington Wizards, they had some good... They have John Wall out. They have their rookie... Rui Hachimura out. And so they brought out guys like David Bertans, who they got through a trade this season. And he had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists in 38 minutes, 3 of 15 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and 2 of 12 from the 3-point line. God damn. And 1 steal. This season, he's been shooting the ball really well. I don't know if it was just an off night or the Raptors really did bother him on the defensive end. But whatever it is, it worked. And Isaac Bonga, 12 minutes, 1 point, 1 rebound, 1 assist. 0 of 2 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, and that's about it. Jan Mahimi, 16 minutes, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, and 1 steal. Isaiah Thomas, trying to make that comeback, but I don't know. He looks bad on defense as usual, but he's looking decent on offense. He looks like he's got a little step back to his game. In 27 minutes, he had 13 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and 2 of 4 from the 3-point line with 1 steal. Bradley Beal, the all-star of the team, the second all-star because John Wall's obviously there. But in 39 minutes, he had 37 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 12 of 24 from the field, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, and 3 of 10 from the 3-point line with 1 steal. Him and Ish Smith were the only reason this game was even close. There was points where we were up 15, 16, 18, and they were just making shots at times, and we were on offensive slumps, and that's why they were able to crawl back into this game. But I'm telling you, Ish Smith, every time he sees a Raptors jersey, he thinks he's Steph Curry and John Wall put together. Because the way he plays is not the same as he plays against other teams. He's just playing freely. He's shooting threes with so much confidence. You can see the difference when he plays us and other teams. Bradley Beal, too. He was on the bench at the beginning, and they cut the lead to 6. And not 6. They cut the lead to 8, and he's just chilling on the bench. He's like, "Let me come in and drop 15 in like the last 5 minutes and take this home for us." Fortunately, that didn't happen, and yeah, that's all she wrote. Troy Brown, he had 27 minutes. He had 11 points and 7 rebounds, 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. He had a point there at the end where he went for the rebound and he did like a turnaround 3, or it was supposed to be a 3, but it ended up being a 2 because he had a foot on the line, which saved us obviously when we came back to the other end and shot the 2 free throws to close out the game. But the point is, he had a moment there to kind of make a name for himself, and yeah, it didn't work out. Thankfully, it was a 2, and I thought it was a 3 at first too when we first saw the shot go in, and it didn't even look like it hit net. It was just pure swish. But yeah. Schofield, 22 minutes, 6 points, 0 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 of 5 from the field, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. Those are all the stats for the Washington Wizards. Not a lot of names you'll probably know. They're all either rookies or just random people out of the G League. But this Washington Wizards team, is definitely going to be something to reckon with next season, because when they have everyone healthy back in the roster, like their rookie Rui Hakamura, sorry for butchering his name, but he's the Japanese player that they drafted this season in the lottery. They got Bradley Beal there, signed with an extension for 3 years. They got John Wall coming back, basically been out for 2 years, and he looks good. Like the other day, they were showing a highlight. Pretty sure y'all saw it, with him doing like a reverse backwards windmill and or tomahawk dunk, and he looks good. He looks like he's not even injured anymore. And if they can re-sign Isaiah Thomas for next season to come off the bench as a 6th man, keep Ish Smith, Jan Mahimi, David Bertans, who's a 3-point shooter who could play the small forward position, they look like they're definitely a playoff team. And the East is deeper than a lot of people think and are giving credit for. It looks like it's just as deep as the West, but I mean, this year it looks like that. We're gonna have to wait till everyone's healthy. You got Brooklyn coming back next year too, with KD and Kyrie healthy, so we'll see. For the Raptors though, today from the field wasn't the greatest. They did shoot. Actually, no. What am I saying? They shot 49%. Man, the way they were missing in that fourth quarter and having a struggle, scoring the ball, it did seem like they were lower than that. But yeah, they were 49%, 38 of 78 from the field. Washington was 46% from the field, and they're 40 of 87. Yeah. 3-pointers, they shot 36%, 14 of 39 from 3. We were 40%, and we were 12 of 30. At the half, we were 9 of 19, I believe. And so we only made 3 threes in the second half. Rebounding, crazy to see, but, noticing how small Washington was, aside from Mahimi, we did win the rebounding category, 42 to 39. Offensive rebounds, they beat us 8 to 6. Assists, we had 26 assists today, and that comes from making most of those threes. And they had 24 assists. Steals, we both had 6 apiece. Blocks, we had 3, which was all Serge Ibaka, and they had 1. Turnovers, after the first quarter, we were very sloppy. Everyone was all over the place. You could kind of tell those new players that were getting inserted into the lineup to take minutes today were kind of like, all over the place. But we had 17. They only had 13. Personal fouls, we had 25. They had 28. The calls were really bad today on the Raptors side. Even when we were up like 15, 16 points, the refs were just not looking at anything. And I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys can all agree with that. And then technical fouls, we had 1 and they had 2. All in all, the Raptors won 122-118. And in the first quarter, they scored 40 points. And then after that, Washington outscored us from the second quarter on. And they we were up 17. We outscored them 40 to 23. And then In the second quarter, we lost to them 29-28. Third quarter, lost to them again 33-28. And then fourth quarter, we got outscored again 33-26. So that's basically the reason why. You know now why we had the game closer than it really was. Next game, it's against the Dallas Mavericks, which is scary to like, this is a really bad time to have all these injuries because we have a tough schedule coming up. We have Dallas coming up next, and they're coming into Toronto on Sunday. Then you got the Pacers on a back-to-back in Indiana, and then you got 2 days to rest up for the Christmas game against the Boston Celtics, who are one of the top of the East, a competitor we're trying to fight home court for, along with Indiana too. And then we got Boston again 3 days later after Christmas. And then we got OKC and Cleveland to end the year. But I am pretty scared as a Raptors fan right now. Like, to see all these good teams coming in right now when we don't have our number one option in Pascal in the lineup. And we got Kyle Lowry, who needs to be a better leader right now. He's already an amazing leader, but he needs to be at the top of the game right now. And he's going to get a lot of shots along with Van Vliet. OG needs to play the type of games he's been playing tonight and in Detroit, where he's putting up like 17, 18 points or even more. Serge Ibaka, perfect. This is the type of game we need from him in the starting lineup right now without a solid backup center right there. And right now, we don't have no one, right? Chris Boucher is not really considered a center. He's a small forward, power forward, and he plays a center at times because only when other teams go small. We'll see how it goes, though. Raptors fan, brace yourself. It's going to be a rocky ending to the year, but hopefully they could pull through, and that championship experience literally does get us through these tough times, because the next couple of weeks, we're not going to have Marc Gasol, Norman Powell, or Pascal. Pascal, after seeing his injury in the replay, doesn't look like it was like LeBron's type of groin injury. It just looks like it was a light strain, so hopefully he'll be back right after the new year. But we shall see. That's going to do it for now. Love y'all for tuning in. Thanks for the love and support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that button, like the video, and we'll see y'all back here for the Mavericks post-game podcast. Till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and peace!